Hello and welcome to another episode of me reacting to fan-made cards I found online. And today we have 6 corps I found on Reddit. First, a set of 2 corps made by Thick-dk-boi. And the first one is Ecorevive Technologies. So I think this is a really strong corporation. It starts with 55 MC. That's already pretty good. That's nearly as much as Credicore has. It has 2 really useful tags, an Earth tag, which has quite a bit of combo potential with stuff like Space Hotels and Cartel. A Science tag, which obviously has a lot of standard combo potential. It's one of the best tags in the game. And it also draws you 3 cards. 3 cards with requirements specifically, because that combos with your ability. But drawing 3 cards is also really good. It's one of the redeeming qualities of MSI and Inventrix, for example. Makes you really good contestant for Planner. So this is immediately a really good start. You can think of this as 9 more MC. Adding to these 55 MC means you start with 64 MC basically, and then you also have an ability. That's pretty good. And basically your ability is the effect of cutting edge technology, giving you 2 MC discount on all cards with requirements. I love cutting edge technology. It's one of my favorite cards in the game. I wonder if the maker of this corp doesn't know the card because it's a promo card, so might have never played with it. Because I wouldn't want to recycle just a card's effect. But if you also take a look at the base game, there you see Terrector and Earth Office, which always bothered me, and which is also why I changed Terrector in my video on how to nerf the base game S tier corporations. But overall, I think this corp would just be way too strong. As I said, it has a really great start. It has 2 great tags, and it has an effect which is super useful. It's not a global discount, but it helps with so many strategies. You will want to play a lot of cards with requirements in any strategy, but especially in Engine, because all of the global global requirement cards, like all of the plan tags you want to play, yeah, that's the same as if you're going for a rush. But you will also want to play all of the science requirement cards, for example, stuff like Mass Converter or AI Central. So if you're going for an engine and this card also has the tech and the money for it, that's just an insane ability. You could think about like the 3 cards that you draw. They will have requirements, and most of the time that will mean that you can't play them immediately, so they won't immediately be useful, because there's definitely more min requirements than max requirements. I don't quite know the ratio because it's hard to look stuff like that up if you don't collect the data yourself. But definitely, like out of experience, I'd say there's much more min requirements than max requirements. So you'll likely draw into a few cards that you can't immediately play, but still, it's a really great start. I definitely turn down the tags here, maybe just give it an Earth tag. A lot of corps just have an Earth tag, stuff like Vitor, Terrector, Valley Trust, they all have an Earth tag. You could do this with Ecorevive technologies as well. Also distinguish a little bit from cutting edge technology. And I definitely cut down on the starting capital. 55 MC is just too much for a corp like this. But yeah, I think this is just a case of a corporation that is a bit overtuned. It's just a bit too strong. But yeah, let's get to the next one, which is called JTB Ltd. This one starts with 2 plant tags, which immediately makes this insane if you have NRA on hand. If you have NRA on your starting hand, this is the best corp you can draw, because you just need 1 more plant tag and you can get it down for 4 plant prod. And that's really realistic in like Gen 2. But what else does it do? Starts off with 31 MC. That's not a lot, and that will also mean that most of the time, at least if you're not getting the right preludes for it, you won't be able to play NRA Gen 1. And then You may place an ocean tile, and you may place a greenery. That's a lot of value. That definitely helps with your start, because you have really not that much starting capital. But you can possibly pick up titanium or steel. You can possibly put the greenery next to the ocean. Maybe not on Tharsis if you want to pick up titanium or steel, because surrounding those oceans with your greenery would not be great. But you can also pick up 4 plants. So if you do play with preludes and you also have like great Aquifer in hand, that means you immediately get a conversion, which is also super useful. And its ability says whenever you play a plant tag or space event, you may either gain a plant or reduce that card's cost by 3 MC. That's really strong. Plant tags are amazing, and space events are amazing. And often gaining a plant combos really well with that. Because a lot of plant tags, especially mid to late game plant tags, grant you immediate plants or instant plants, stuff like bushes. Not only gives you 2 plant production, but also 2 plants. And you will often want to use that to get to 8 and then convert. And with JTB LTD, you could take 1 more plant, which makes it much easier to safely convert your plants before they can get destroyed. But the 3 MC discount is also really, really strong. So often there's like it's a tough decision what to take. In the early game, especially when you are lacking money, and you will be lacking money with JTB LTD, you will often want to take the 3 MC discount, which is really strong ability. And often in the early game, you also won't have the plans to convert. But for example, if you get NRA down relatively early on with the 3 MC discount, for example, then you will have some plant production, and you will often be in a situation where you could use 1 more plant to convert, and then this ability would really help you out. I find the combination a bit weird. What does the the flavor text say? Using the most scientifically advanced spreadsheet analysis in his apartment during the Japanese summer heat, JTB CEO confidently believes that he knows how to win the terraforming race. Just terraform Mars, bro. Well, that's a creative flavor text. I don't quite understand like the link between space events and plant tags. I mean, they work together in a strategy, but I don't think there's an obvious lore link. So I think you could maybe improve their cooperation in that department. But it would definitely be a really, really fun corp to play. It would be one of the most busted rush corps in my opinion. If you play this with prelude and you get a good prelude which grants you starting capital. For example, if you get double farming and ASA on your starting hand together with NRA, that would be the most busted start ever, because that would allow you to play this play NRA Gen 1 for full effect. And then you also have this pretty good ability. You already have a greenery down for Gardener, for example, on a really good like path towards a terraformer. Really, really strong. Quite fun to play, I would say. But next up, let's jump over to Time Travel Inc., which was made by detonatingdurian. I hope I pronounced that right. They made 3 corps, and the first, as I said, is Time Travel Inc. It has a science tech, also starts with only 30 MC, which is quite low. Has a titanium prod, quite reminiscent of like a Point Luna start. And then it has an action which says pay 25 MC to draw 2 prelude cards from the deck and play 1. Discard the other card. Titanium may be used as if playing a space card. Okay. So basically this lets you take a look at 2 prelude cards each turn and then play 1, but you need to pay 25 MC. That's like the starting MC and all the setup of this corp leads you to believe that the ability needs to be quite strong, because 30 MC is not that much. Titanium prod, okay, that's like roughly worth 10 MC. You're still only at 40, which is like UNMI level, and that is not great. Science tech is useful, but can't like swing this totally in like a good position. And then you take a look at the ability, and it's underwhelming, sadly, because The thing is, a prelude is worth roughly 21 MC because donation, which is just the most average prelude ever, doesn't grant anything. It just grants 21 MC. So you know the standard is 21 MC. And with this ability, you pay 25 MC. Sure, you can use titanium to pay for it, but titanium is worth what it's worth, and like you won't be swimming in titanium with just one prod. And the problem is, the later you play or with most of the preludes, the later you play them, the worse they get, or the less is their value, because a lot of preludes give production, and production in Gen 5 won't be worth as much as production in Gen 1. There are certain preludes which get better over time, stuff like Head Start or Loan, for example. But most of the preludes don't get better over time. And that just means that this ability is really bad. There's a prelude in Prelude 2. What's it called? Board of Directors, I think. Let me take a look. Yeah, Board of Directors. So basically that prelude lets you take a look at a prelude 4 times. And then you pay 12 MC to play it. 12, not 21 or 25. Of course, you are also using up one of your preludes for that. So if you say that prelude also costs 21, you have to spread those like roughly 5 MC onto the 4 preludes you buy. So each one doesn't cost 12, but 17. But you still get a discount on the usual prelude price. And with Time Travel Inc., you don't get a discount, you get a premium. And that on a corp which doesn't have a great start, I think this is just way too weak. But let's get to the next one, which is called Waste Management. It starts with a microbe tag and 42 MC. And it says, when a microbe tag is played by any player, including this, draw a card from the discard pile if possible. So when you play this corp, you immediately get to do that, and that will be possible. You will be able to draw a card from the discard pile, except if everyone has bought all of their cards, which is very unlikely. This will be a super annoying corp to play against. Let's just imagine this corp is going for Jovians, and you play with Draft, which is what you should do, and you cut a Jovian in the draft. And then basically what you normally do is if you're not going for Jovians yourself, you will just not buy it. It goes to the discard pile. And if the deck isn't reshuffled, and most of the time the deck doesn't get reshuffled, you need a lot of card draw in the game for the deck to get reshuffled, especially if you're playing with expansions. Then they will never see that Jovian attack again. And it didn't cost you anything except for the opportunity cost of not picking up the other card. With Waste Management, you can't be sure of that. Because if you don't buy the card and it goes to the discard pile, the other player can just play a microbe tag, or you play a microbe tag, and they will maybe draw the Jovian tag from the deck. That is super annoying to play against. I don't know how strong it is, because if you're not going for something like Jovians or Science, you're just playing a relatively normal, like mid-range game, then the cards in the discard pile will often be of lower quality. There will be stuff in there like underground detonations, security fleet, stuff like that nobody wanted, and obviously nobody bought. That will end up in the discard pile. Most of the time, not a lot of cards in there will be great, because great cards will be bought. The idea, I think, is great, because waste is often processed by microbes, so the theme fits, and the cards in the discard pile will be waste, basically. So And also the flavor text is great. One man's trash is another man's treasure, because the other guys threw that card away and you will get it and maybe use it for great effect. So I love the concept, but it probably is a bit weak. But yeah, I think it's annoying to play against, not that strong, but a really amazing concept. And then the last card made by Detonating Durian is Equinox Conglomerate. Sorry for that. So that one has an Earth tag. It has 80 MC starting capital and draws 6 cards immediately. But oh my god, has really, really bad effect. When you play a card, you pay 3 MC more for it. That's insane. Like, Polyphemos is already super bad and really annoying to play. And that corp just, every card you buy, it just costs 2 more. And you can circumvent that by just developing a lot of card draw if you're playing with colonies, which I think you have to because Polyphemos is a colonies expansion corp. Then you can just fly to Pluto a lot or something like that. But Equinox, you can't circumvent this except if you're using standard projects. So this effect is really, really bad. Let's compare this to maybe like Terractor. Terractor starts with 60 MC. And let's say Terractor doesn't have an ability. 60 MC, so Equinox has 20 MC more, plus 18 MC worth in cards, so 38 MC more. That's, oh my god, that's like 9 or close to, oh, 38, that's like 13, Jesus Christ, roughly 13 cards worth of your effect. That your starting capital is 13 cards that you play for 3 MC more, basically. You will always play more than 13 cards in a game. The only thing you can hope for is that you have really expensive, same as with Polyphemos, that you have really expensive development cards at the start of the game that you can only afford because you're Equinox and have insane amount of starting capital. And you play those, and that will give you like such an advantage in terms of production that everything is fine. And then you maybe also have like standard tech on hand and make good use out of standard projects. But the problem is many of the strong, really expensive development cards don't combo well with standard projects. And you, as I said, with Polyphemos, you can circumvent the bad ability with card draw. Equinox cannot do that. Of course, you could play global discounts, but instead of getting a discount on cards, you will just pay the same you would normally pay. So I think this corp, it looks really flashy with that start and like ATMC and all of the card draw you get at the start of the game. Obviously super easy to take planner with this corp, but I think it would feel horrendous. You would be like forced to play only those really, really expensive strong cards. You will never be able to play stuff like sponsors or something because the card will just be so much worse than it normally is. So yeah, 13 cards worth in value on this ability, like the upside on Terractor. No, I would take Terractor or any other corp over this. I think Equinox is not strong. And yeah, let's get to the last corp, which was made by Pranath Live number 2. And it's called Mineral Masterminds. I think this is a really interesting concept that is super busted. So it starts with a building and a space tag. Not a lot of cards that combine those two tags. I think Space Elevator is one, and don't know if there's any other cards. Yeah, does Asteroid Deflection System do that? Maybe. Don't quite remember. I need to look that up now. Yeah, Asteroid Deflection System. I'm sure there's like another card I'm missing. But never mind. It starts with 30 MC, 3 steel prod, and 3 more TR. So that's like a really, really great development starter immediately. Like that's 9 MC worth in prod. Of course, 3 steel prod is like you need find a lot of building text to make use of that. And the starting MC isn't great, but this is also 3 points and 3 MC prod. So this is pretty good development start. And then your action, oh, okay. I said you need to find a lot of building text, but that's not true. Your action either lets you convert any amount of steel you want into titanium. So you can use like space text to use up the steel. And also the action will basically net you MC, because steel is worth 2 MC and titanium is worth 3 MC. Or you can decrease your titanium production by any number of steps and increase your terraforming rating double that number of steps. That's insane, because that means that any titanium production card basically gives you 2 terraforming steps on top of that. Or let's not say terraforming steps, because basically it's points. Because what you want to do is you want to play all the titanium prod you can get, and then in the last gen, you will convert all of your titanium prod and get double that amount of TR. So something like titanium mine will basically give you a titanium prod and 2 points, because in the last gen you will just convert the titanium prod. When you've gained all of the titanium you can get out of that card, except maybe 1 more after the last gen for miner. So that's maybe a downside of doing this. You cannot compete as easily on miner, but you also have a lot of steel prod, so that will let you compete for miner. But this ability just makes every titanium production card in the game insanely busted for you. Something like IO mining suddenly gives 2 flat points on top of the fact that it's a Jovian multiplier. Titanium mine, a cheap titanium production card, gives you 2 points on top. Asteroid mining gives you 4 points now instead of 2. And because you can convert as many titanium productions as you want to TR, it really means it's 2 points, because in the last gen you can just convert all of them for no downside except for miner. And like, first idea to fix this would be to not make it X titanium prod, so you can only convert 1 titanium prod at a time, and then probably also scrap the 2. So you convert 1 titanium prod into 1 TR, because that's already, no, that's not, no, okay, I wanted to say that's already an upside, but it's not. I think a TR is a little bit less valuable than a titanium prod, but it still could be used, like in the last few gens. Like if you have 3 titanium prod and you know you don't have that many titanium targets on hand anymore, you can just start like 3 gens from the end of the game. 3 gens before the game ends, you can start each gen to convert your titanium prod into points, and it would still make sense. It's like Utopia Planitia, but instead of getting resources, you just get the instant points. So and keep this ability up here because it's fun, makes this corp really flexible, but probably also the start is a bit busted. Like 3 steel prod and 3 TR, that's insane. So the way this corp is right now is it's way too strong. Definitely change the lower part of the ability. You can still keep something like that, but not in the way it is. It just makes every titanium card super busted. And then maybe lower the starting economic potential a little bit. Maybe give it 2 steel prod and 2 TR or something like that. Like 3 steel prod, especially with this upper ability, is insane. But yeah, those were all the corps I wanted to talk about today. I found some of them really, really interesting. For example, Mineral Mastermind or Waste Management, really, really great. I hope you found this insightful and enjoyed it. And if you did, please leave a like and consider subscribing. And I hope I see you in the next video. Have a good one, guys, and goodbye.